Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. It's been a while since I've said that. 4 days. I hope you lot have survived without me. But guess what? Because I haven't spoken to you on this channel for 4 flipping days, we have got a monstrous, a bumper news video to keep you lot up to date with Chelsea stories. We have got loads of stuff happening right now, including Chelsea's man, and we say that now. Will it last? Let's hope so. Enzo Fernandez scored a last-ditch winner for Argentina in a thrilling comeback win over Egypt. I'm looking at this game, and as soon as Egypt went 2-0 up, I said, if any country is going to come back and win this, it will be Argentina. Enzo Fernandez was asked about his future. I'm not thinking about my future now. I'm here, living this moment. That is incredible for me. And after the World Cup, we'll see. This has annoyed me. Tell you why it's annoyed me. It's because, well, mate, Real Madrid, they don't want you. They don't want you, geezer, all right? So you're still a Chelsea player. We'll see doesn't quite cut it for me right now. And this is, again, why it's going to be an issue with Enzo Fernandez. I think it's as clear as day that he doesn't want to be at Chelsea. I don't think Javier Pastore, his agent, would have been doing all of the nitty-gritty, to steal Eunice's phrase. He wouldn't have been doing all of that groundwork to try and get him that move to Real Madrid if he wanted to still stay at Chelsea. So my question to Chelsea is, right, when you see Enzo Fernandez and the value that he brings, and I'm not talking just about money here, I'm talking about the goals, the big game moments, we need players who are scoring 93rd minute winners in knockout World Cup games. We need those kind of guys. So we should be offering Enzo Fernandez a contract that reflects what he brings to the football club, that reflects his stature in the modern game. So I think Chelsea right now should be doing everything we can to try and make Enzo Fernandez stay at this football club. And the way that he's performed in the past couple of years, he deserves to get a pay rise if that's what he's after. I don't know if it's going to be all about money with Enzo. I think when you're playing for such a successful nation who are winning World Cups and then trying to go back to back, I think he just wants to win. And I think Enzo Fernandez knows at Chelsea that isn't always the priority. And this summer is a big one for us. Who's going to come in? Who we've already bought in some decent looking signing. You know, Palestra's a good player. But is that going to be the difference between 10th and challenging for the league? No, Palestra's not enough. So let's see what happens here with Enzo after the World Cup. At the moment, there's also a little bit of talk that Arsenal could be interested in signing Enzo Fernandez. He's got admirers at Arsenal. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. Chelsea is still seeking 120 million, and Scott and Bruno Guimaraes are seen as more viable. If for whatever reason Arsenal come in for Enzo Fernandez and they pay the 120 million, I don't think Chelsea are going to have the luxury of being able to keep him. If the money comes in, even if it's from Arsenal, then I think Chelsea accept the deal. 120 million is the asking price. Would Arsenal do it? I mean, Arsenal have spent a lot of money and got a lot of Chelsea's, what should we call it, seconds in recent years. The Jorginhos, the David Luizes, the Havertzes, the Noni Maduekes now. Wouldn't say any of them have been brilliant signings for Arsenal. I'd say Havertz has done quite well. Kepa, loads of players. I would not be happy if Enzo Fernandez went to Arsenal, but I would not be surprised. If that's the case, Chelsea get 120 million for Enzo Fernandez. We have got to go and splash that money on Bruno from Newcastle. You got Tottenham at the moment. We haven't spoken about this too much here on GBFC. Spurs have gone and spent 200 million on central midfielders in this transfer window. You think they're going to be as bad as they were last season? Some people might say, oh yeah, they will be. This Tottenham. No, Tottenham are going to be back fighting again next year. De Zerbi got them playing a little bit towards the end of the season. They've gone and bought in Tonali. They've gone and bought in Matheus Fernandes from West Ham. Brilliant signings. Those are 2 excellent Spurs signings. So if Chelsea lose Enzo Fernandez, bloody hell, we hope it isn't to Arsenal. But if we do, Bruno Guimaraes is absolutely the man I'd be going for. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. After losing out on Matheus Fernandes, United, as in Manchester United, have turned some of their attention to another young Premier League midfielder in Chelsea's Andre Santos. The clubs are not yet in talks but Chelsea would not block a move if it suited all parties. Again, this is proof this summer that there's a lot of players that could be for sale at Chelsea Football Club. Andre Santos, very good young footballer. I think he did very well in the second half of last season. I think he grew into the role that he had in this Chelsea squad. Now, again, do I want to see a young player that I think is a good footballer go to Manchester United? I'm not hearing enough positive incoming talk right now. Xabi Alonso, we're going to have gone from being the club that have got 70 players? What was the number? People just make up numbers and throw it out there, don't they? But we have a lot of players on our books. Are we going to go to being that squad that's paper thin next season? Because we've decided to sell everybody because we have to in order to fund signings. We're in a bit of a pickle here because there's going to be top players that want to leave or have already left. But we've also got a lot of youngsters that will look and think, well, if I can get Champions League football, is Chelsea really that club I want to be at? Now, Xabi Alonso is already in the job now. And obviously not everybody is at the World Cup. There's going to be players now that will leave the World Cup because they exit. They'll be going on little holiday breaks. And then slowly, Xabi Alonso will start to get a feel for the squad. People will start coming back. People will start training. People will start doing all of the early pre-season fitness stuff they've got to do. Andre Santos, I think, would be a player that Xabi Alonso would like to look at, particularly if we will be losing Enzo Fernandez this summer. Will the funds be available to replace him? Let's wait and see, but United are interested. Chelsea are fine if Santos ends up staying. He's a talent and can develop. Will have to be way more than 20 or 30 million. Christopher Vivell, who was at Chelsea, knows Santos well, and he's an option. No bid yet. That was from Fabrizio. Alejandro Garnacho is for sale this summer, as revealed on TalkSport back in April. Chelsea will not consider a loan, as Bobby Vincent reported. No club discussions at this point, but a number of teams interested. Well, how can a number of teams be interested if there isn't any discussions on board, Mr. Ben Jacobs? That's an interesting one. Food for thought for all of us, isn't it? Because Alejandro Garnacho, in all seriousness, who's interested? And I mean that. I don't want to be horrible, but if you saw Garnacho last season, I saw a couple of reports a couple of days ago. Now, I was too busy making content in Mexico about England and the England-Mexico game that I just didn't find the time to discuss this. But I did see somewhere that Chelsea want, 90 million for Garnacho? That has to be a joke. That might be one of the least funny things I've heard this decade. Genuine is. 2026, that would rank in the top 3. I don't think I've heard as many funny things as that in a long time. Garnacho, we were here a year ago saying, don't do it. Please don't do it. And they did it, and guess what? It didn't work. Garnacho is up for sale? Yeah, of course he should be. We should never have bought him in the first place, for goodness sake. Do I think there's a player in there, though? Yes. I do think Garnacho could still become a good player. I just didn't see enough last season for me to care if he's here next year or not. I'd rather he wasn't. If you sell him, you got to bring someone in. Do I think maybe we've learned from our mistakes and we'd actually bring in a better player this time? Hopefully. Who knows with these Chelsea board right now? Let's move. Chelsea could still sell Garnacho if they receive a good bid. We never know in the market. Sometimes transfers can end up being a loan with obligation or a loan with the salary covered. As of today, though, Chelsea position is permanent transfer. Now, obviously, this pretty much makes it clear that Garnacho is for sale. The big question will be, who's willing to cough up the money? Chelsea for 40 million? Gamble. If Chelsea want to make money on this deal, which I guess we do, whoever spends that money on Garnacho, gamble. I've said in this video, I think maybe there's a player in there. Yeah, sure. When do we get to see it? When is it going to happen? Because it hasn't happened yet. Let's move. At least one striker will be sold. A decision has not been made yet on which forwards out of Jackson, Delap and Emiga will have a role next season. I think Emmanuel Emiga will have a role because we've only just bought him in. There are a couple of rumours that we might look to sell him without ever seeing him play for Chelsea. Do I think Emiga is ready? No. But we saw enough of Delap to know that Delap isn't ready for Chelsea, isn't a Chelsea-level player. So I think Delap should be sold. Delap doesn't want to go. We should try and sell him. Nicholas Jackson is the other name on this list. I think Nicholas Jackson should get a shout under Xabi Alonso. I do. I think he brings you something different. He's not the same as Joao Pedro. I think he can play in different positions. He can have different roles in the team. And importantly, have you lot seen the training videos? Cole Palmer looks sharp. He looks ready to rock and roll. He's got a great relationship with Nicholas Jackson. They've combined for tons of Chelsea goals. Nicholas Jackson is less of a risk to play him next season than Liam Delap. Nicholas Jackson in his first season got 14 times more goals than Liam Delap did. Delap got one goal. And we're hearing, oh yeah, we understand his injury was a problem. Yeah, his injury was a problem. But bloody hell, mate, you know, it's like waking up the next day with a hangover and I'm expecting why you can't get stuff done. Mate, you recovered from your injury, you're fit and you're healthy, you're just not good enough. That's the problem with Liam Delap. He doesn't get the job done. He doesn't do what he needs to do. He doesn't score me goals. Where's the Chelsea number 9 shirt? 30 million. I thought that was a bargain last summer. 30 million. 30 million wasted from what we saw last season. I know it sounds a bit brutal. I've not been talking to you lot for 4 flipping days, but when I think about the World Cup and all of that stuff, when I think back to Chelsea, at the moment, I don't want the World Cup to end. I don't know if I'm ready to go back to Chelsea. I'm not seeing enough good movement in the market. I'm not seeing enough of the players that aren't good enough being sold. So I'm not really that excited right now, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, I'm excited to see what Xabi Alonso can do. I'm excited to see if he can get the mentality cooking again for some of these players. Get them back actually fighting, actually playing for the shirt. Do I think he can do it? Yeah, I do. But in terms of incomings and outgoings, it's all a bit too quiet. And I'm not just talking about, oh, give me that transfer dopamine, bring more players to me, give me more players coming in. No, it's not just about that. We need to get rid of a lot of dead wood at this football club. And we're not doing it as of right now. Let's move into the next story. Chelsea are open to selling Gusto after the arrival of Palestra from Atalanta. I think Malo Gusto should be sold now. What are we going to do with both Palestra, Gusto and Reece James? That would be a very unnecessary thing to have on the right side of the pitch. Malo Gusto at the end of last season, one of the players who I think down tools the most, looked the least interested. He's been involved in a couple of new kit videos for next season and all of that stuff, but I think Gusto is quite a marketable player. But Man City, Enzo Maresca, will he go for Malo Gusto again? Let's move now into some more incoming Chelsea players here. At least one centre-back will join Chelsea this summer. Crystal Palace's Maxence Lacroix is a primary target. Como's Jacobo Ramon is also liked. This comes from Simon Johnson for The Athletic. Now, Chelsea need to go and bring Xabi Alonso better centre-halves. It's simple. We've seen the whole thing with Granit Xhaka. We're going to talk about him in a moment. That's all very much dead in the water right now. Xabi Alonso will have absolutely said when he came in at Chelsea, those centre-backs aren't good enough. I need better signings in that position. I need at least one top-class player, maybe two. Maxence Lacroix, I think, is that Premier League proven, experienced player. He's over 25 years old. Those are the kind of players we need. He's done very well in that Palace team. Can also play, and is very comfortable playing in a back three. On the right side of the back three, with Levi Colwill central, Yoel Hato on the left side. Are we going to see a new left wing back come in? We'll talk about Chavaria in a moment as well. Chelsea keep pushing for Lacroix behind the scenes, but we need to be patient. Crystal Palace say they'll only let him go if they find a replacement and also the fee is right. That is from Fabrizio Romano. So the latest now regarding Trevor Chalobah, and I'll say it, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. How are we selling Trev over Badiashile, Disasi, Wesley Fofana? How are those guys going to stay at Chelsea, the French contingent, but we're going to sell Trev? The latest is this. Como president Suaso reached out to Inter president Morato today about the Trevor Chalobah deal. Good relationship, and Como informed they will only bid for Chalobah if Inter leave the race, while Inter remain in talks with the players' camp. These Italians, man, they just move weird in the transfer market. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're the biggest cheapskates going because there ain't no money in Italian football anymore, but we're only going to bid if you leave the... Just get on with it. Do you know what I mean? If we're going to lose Trev, we're going to lose Trev. Then we need to know how much money we're going to get so that we can go out and buy a better centre-back. You see, when Crystal Palace say they're only going to sell Maxence Lacroix when the fee is correct, Chelsea are probably waiting on deals like this, selling Trevor Chalobah, so that we can afford it, so that we can actually go to Crystal Palace with a substantial enough offer that they're not going to look at us and laugh at. My voice is gone from the England game. That's why I've got a croaky voice. But let's move now. Chelsea like Morgan Rogers as a versatile attacker, but they accept Villa demanding a large fee and other clubs are keen. I think he goes to Arsenal, to be quite honest with you. Pep Chavaria, 28, wants the Chelsea move, but Rayo Vallecano are so far sticking to their guns, asking for his full 21.5 million release clause. Chelsea got a lot of money for selling Marc Cucurella, but the initial offer that we made to Rayo Vallecano was £8 million. You see how at the moment Chelsea aren't getting business done because we're low-balling on so many players. If Xabi Alonso has come into Chelsea and said, get me Granit Xhaka, get me Pep Chavaria, if this is the players that he wants and we're not giving it to him, what can Xabi Alonso do? And I'm saying this now with a bit of foresight, with optimism inside of me, that we can get this right this summer. If Xabi Alonso is coming in and you give him the role as a manager, and he says he wants this left back, Pep Chavaria, 20 million. How much do we get for Cucurella? If he's Xabi Alonso's man and Xabi Alonso wants him, go and get him. Otherwise, what's the point in all of this? Oh yeah, he's the manager, he's got more responsibility, he's got more of a role. If you're going to still be the ones to say, yeah, we only think he's worth 9 million. Oh, you want 20 more? Sorry, Xabi. Yeah, they're pricing us out of this one. Sorry. It's not good enough. Get the man what he needs. Chelsea is still looking at Pep Chavaria. We move now. Chelsea have accepted Sunderland's decision not to sell Xhaka, as well as his choice to stay, and will not make another attempt to sign him. This one's dead in the water. Granit Xhaka was so clearly the man that Xabi Alonso wanted. It was like 2 videos ago now that we spoke about Chelsea going for Granit Xhaka. I said I was delighted. I think Granit Xhaka would have been a brilliant midfield signing. And it wouldn't have been a replacement for Enzo Fernandez, but just to bring a player of that caliber, of that experience into the team, into the squad, would have been big. But that one is now officially dead. Mark Guiu is expected to leave on loan or permanently. I think it's probably the right transfer window for that one. Mamadou Sarr is a candidate for a loan, but the preference is to send him to another English side rather than abroad. This is good. I think if Chelsea are sending particularly young defenders, if we're sending them to Germany, France, Italy, Spain, any of these places, you're not learning the English game. The Premier League, and we're seeing this at the moment with the World Cup and just how crazy everything's been, the Premier League is on a different level of intensity, speed, strength, everything. Chelsea should be looking to loan our players to England. We've seen it with Kendrick Pires. What, we send him off to Argentina, we send him here, there and everywhere. Does it mean he's learning English? Now, I think Sarr's English, I believe it's okay. I might be wrong with that. But get him playing in England. If we can get him up to a newly promoted, send him to Super Frank. The Coventry need a centre-back. Get him in there. Let's get these players developing in the league they're going to be playing in if they become Chelsea regulars, Chelsea starters. Let's see what happens there with Sarr. Chelsea are also working on the departures of Slanina, Datro Fofana, Kendrick Pires, David Washington, Caleb Wiley, and Shumera Mweka. Apart from Shumera Mweka, all of these players are, this is the Chelsea project. We don't know what we're doing, spending a load of money on players that we don't know if they're any good or not. And now we've got to pick up the pieces a few years later. How much did Fofana cost? What was it? 10 mil? Kendrick Pires, again, what the bloody hell's happened to him? David Washington was what? 12 mil, 10 mil, something like that. A lot of these players, we've spent so much money on them. And these are the difference between getting Xabi Alonso, the Pep Chavarias that he wants, the Granit Xhakas that he wants. The reason we can't is because of these kind of players that we're talking about here on the screen. Good news to end the video. Jesse Derry is close to signing a new contract at Chelsea as a reward for his recent first-team breakthrough. The 19-year-old winger attracted interest from a number of European clubs including Bayern Munich. Now, I think next season, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Sell Garnacho, give Jesse Derry his spot. I'm not saying Jesse Derry is going to win you a Premier League. I think we're better off having him in the squad, in the team, getting minutes, over Garnacho. Simple as that for me. Jesse Derry getting a new deal. I think this is good news for Chelsea. But to wrap up the most important point, if somehow Arsenal go in for Enzo Fernandez, we're going to have to just, I say accept it, I'm going to be fuming. I'll be absolutely fuming if he goes to Arsenal. But unfortunately, it's the position we're in. Player wants to leave. Player wants more wages. Arsenal will give him that. Wants to challenge for titles. Arsenal are going to give him that. We're not in the same place we once were. Last summer when we won the Club World Cup, that was the time. We missed it. Yes, I'm excited for Xabi Alonso, but right now, when I look across the board, are we really getting this guy what he wants? Are we really getting this guy what he needs? Yes, Chelsea are working in silence. Yes, the Palestra deal was a good one. Is it enough? Not yet. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Didn't really speak about it too much during this video, but Project 90, the second channel, I've been doing a lot of stuff, daily vlogs on Project 90. It's why there's been less Chelsea news. I do apologise for that. But it's been the World Cup and it's been absolutely mental. And some of the stuff we've been doing has been wild. So check those videos out, link down below. Subscribe to GBFC. I'll be back tomorrow with more Chelsea news. Come on, you Blues.